And continuing with what turned out to be a 100% raising strategy, much like in our extreme grind, we open 9 deuce off and go with this under c-bet on the flop, much like we would with our air, and take down another uncontested pot. So with queen 5 off here, this is generally going to be pretty close to the bottom of our calling range, or possibly the top of our 3-bet bluff range, depending on how you want to play it. But against such a nitty opponent who's opening at an extremely low frequency, I think we can actually just muck here and move on to the next hand. But instead we flat and then check fold versus a bigger c-bet. And with 10-8, we get 3-bet and have an easy fold. So next we ISO queen 10 suited and make an under c-bet, which I think we could actually just bet 50 or 60 here, since we don't expect it to make a big difference to his folding or calling / raising ranges. And our opponent goes ahead and jams over the top. So with 3 aggressive actions in a row, it's possible that our opponent has adjusted to our aggression, but we have to be careful not to over-adjust ourselves until we have more evidence. So our opponent's being pretty passive. So with ace-9 and almost 12 big blinds, I think we're too deep to shove here, especially against an opponent who could potentially be increasing his aggression, although it didn't seem like it from the last couple of hands. But possible, and he might therefore have a expanded 3-bet shove range. So I think definitely it's going to be a bit too strong of a hand for us to just open shove like that. And we're just not going to get called often enough, and we're missing out on a ton of value. So we should just be min raising there and obviously snapping off against a jam. And pretty easy call with king jack off and chop it up. Continue to open. Staying relentlessly aggressive. And now with ace-10 off here, I think now that our opponent only has 8 big blinds behind, open shoving is fine. But I think we can actually still min raise here, since I don't really expect him to flat us too often at this stack depth. And this way we leave the door open for him to 3-bet shove some hands he might otherwise fold to a shove. So even though it's a bit closer than the ace-9, well, definitely a lot closer since we're comparing 8 big blinds to 12 big blinds. But I think either way is fine.